Hey there, Roster Watch Nation. It's your friendly neighborhood Trashman. Back to do another Best Ball Mania 3 draft on UnderdogFantasy.com. So join with me. Oh, it just got super dark outside. I'll have to turn on the light. I'll be right back. Love natural lighting, but it doesn't always work for content. So I'm going to go ahead and join this draft on UnderdogFantasy.com for the Best Ball Mania 3 contest. Still waiting for 9 people, so feel free to join in with me and take all my picks before I make them. I'll be using Roster Watch's Best Ball Cheat Sheet version 9.0. And, making some picks from my own maladjusted mind. I don't know. I feel like today I'm just going to go off the rails a little bit. Why not? I don't know. Make some daring picks. I haven't really just gone uncharted with any of these drafts just yet. So I don't know. I'll see what opportunities I have to deviate from the norm, and I'll go with it. Just because I haven't really done that yet in one of these drafts. Waiting for 4 more people. And now 3. And there we have it. 1 minute till we start. I'm picking from the 9 spot. I don't know if I picked from the 9 spot yet in one of these, but I don't hate it. Draft starts in 30 seconds now. On the 9 spot, out of the 9 spot, I mean, it'd be cool if I could get Derrick Henry, Stephon Diggs, or Dalvin Cook. I'm not crazy about Devontae Adams. But yeah, I'm hoping I can get either Henry, Diggs, or Cook with my first pick. We shall see. And here we go. Jonathan Taylor is the first pick, per usual. I don't know. Depends on the format. A lot of people are taking Christian McCaffrey first. So the first pick in like one of my oldest leagues, my longest running league last week. First pick was Cooper Kupp. He went 4th here. All right. Dalvin Cook. Rob Jolosi looks like he's fighting a war of contrition in his brain about who he's going to go with. Does he leapfrog up to Diggs? Or is he auto draft? Is that what's happening? Okay, so it looks like, all right, I'll take Stefon Diggs with my first pick. I don't think I've taken Diggs with the first pick yet, but I also have not drafted out of the 9 spot, so it makes sense that I haven't gotten him yet. So with my next pick, 6 picks away, hoping I can get either CeeDee Lamb or DeAndre Swift. I like that Barkley pick there. He's going to get a lot of touches. I thought about it for a split second, taking him over Diggs, but if I can get a piece of the Buffalo offense and maybe it's most reliable piece, then I'm going to go ahead and do that. Because I might get a little wild in some of these later picks. So you need some sure things. Maybe I'll go 0 RB in this draft. I've got to do that in one of these best ball drafts. So it's like another auto pick. So Travis Kelce, CeeDee Lamb, DeAndre Swift. Who do I want? I want CeeDee Lamb. So 2 receivers I have picked thus far, Stefon Diggs and CeeDee Lamb. Need to make sure when we're doing these best ball drafts that we're looking at bye weeks, just to make sure we don't have a bunch of the same players at the same position with the same bye weeks. Because that will turn into a bye week nightmare. We can't have that. So 14 picks away, quite a bit of time. $12 picks until our next. Could be around that DJ Moore, Cortland Sutton, James Conner area. Or Josh Allen. Maybe I go for the gusto and go for the Buffalo stack. You have to do one of those. We'll see if Josh Allen falls. If he does not, there's DJ Moore, Cortland Sutton. Wouldn't that be wild to get the Stefon Diggs, Gabe Davis? Oh, wait, no. Oh, okay. Jared Allen, he just went. So No stack there. But I could just get that whole, well, I mean, almost that entire Buffalo receiving core. I don't know. We'll see what happens. If Nick Chubb falls, I'll be tempted to take him. Less tempted by James Conner. Okay. And here we are. Yeah, this has been unorthodox, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and take Gabe Davis. Couldn't make the Jared Allen stack, but I mean, just having Diggs and Davis assures me a good bulk of that Bills offense, of that offense, outside of Allen. I'm tempted to take a running back here with my next pick. But I don't have to. We'll see what happens. Don't really want to get Jalen Waddle. I just don't see a path to him getting consistent action enough to warrant him being as high as he's being drafted. With Tyreek Hill also on board. Okay. So who do I go with? Travis Etienne, Ezekiel Elliott, Marquise Brown. I think I'm going to go with Elliott in hopes of maybe getting a Dallas stack here. Because the Buffalo stack is no longer on the table. At least not the one that I wanted. Still have not drafted, well, one running back. Yeah, it's a pretty weird team I've compiled so far. Ezekiel Elliott at running back, Stefan Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, Gabe Davis at receiver. Pretty sick though. Just have to look out for bye weeks at this point. Eight picks away. So I'm going to go ahead and queue up Dak Prescott. Let's keep an eye on him for stacking purposes. 7 picks away. It'd be nice to get Darren Waller. as my tight end. Let's cue that up. Manifest it. That's the thing, right? So, looking to potentially make a Dallas stack here, but I don't think I need to take Prescott just yet. Unfortunately, Darren Waller went. I was hoping to maybe get him as my tight end, my first tight end. So I think I'm going to go ahead and take Cam Akers here. Finally get back on the practice field. But he does have a week 7 bye. So far, the guys I have week 7 or 9 buys. So I need to avoid week 9 or 7 buys pretty much here on out, except for Dak Prescott when I can get him. But the team thus far: Ezekiel Elliott, Cam Akers, Stefon Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, and Gabe Davis. It's a pretty good looking team. I went for the gusto and taking both of those Bills receivers, but why not? I mean, it's arguably the best offense in football, the best passing offense in football. And we like stacking in best ball tourneys. You know what I'm tempted to do? Just go ahead, leapfrog, and take Damian Pierce, Houston. You know, after they dropped Marlon Mack, it looks like the Pierce show. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And he's got a week 6 bye, so that works out. Yeah, if you're going with kind of that zero running back strategy, I mean, Damian Pierce is almost a must where you can draft him. Seems like he's going to get the lion's share of carries there in Houston. $13 picks away. I don't think I'll have to take Dak Prescott with my next pick, but maybe the one after that. And so, who am I looking at before him? It's not pretty. The running backs around this area. But there are some receivers who are going to get a lot of action. Drake London's one of them. DeAndre Hopkins, I mean, when he gets back from a suspension, is going to step right into that lead receiver role, it would seem, in Arizona. Rashad Penny is another guy I am aiming for if I'm going in this kind of zero RB approach. Antonio Gibson, too, now that Brian Robinson is, oh, that's rough. His whole situation, but puts Antonio Gibson back in the driver's seat. Ramondre Stevenson's going to get a lot of passing game action for the Patriots. Dallas Goedert, I'll throw him in there just because I need a tight end. But okay, so I'm looking to avoid week 7 or 9 and bye weeks. I mean, there's actually quite a bit of running back value to be had back here. I'm going to go ahead and take Rashad Penny. I mean, and so now it looks almost like my running backs are the strongest group that I've drafted in this best ball tourney. Ezekiel Elliott, Cam Akers, Damian Pierce, Rashad Penny. My backs. Stefan Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, Gabe Davis. My receivers. So 5 more picks. So I'm hoping Dak Prescott falls here. I think he should, as everyone before me has drafted a quarterback already. Just have to make sure my other quarterback, whoever it ends up being, does not have a week 9 bye. I've done some drafts with Cowboys players, well, stacking Cowboys players, but it's been a few weeks since I've done that, and it just kind of fell into my lap. And I think it's because Dak Prescott is just, kind of being undervalued. So there we have it. Dak Prescott at quarterback, Ezekiel Elliott, Cam Akers, Damian Pierce, Rashad Penny at running back, Stefan Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, Gabe Davis at receiver. And so with my next couple picks, I'll probably target receiver and tight end. We'll see who's there. Robert Woods, definitely want to target. Same with George Pickens. God, would have loved to have gotten Jared Allen so I can make a stack. It should be so easy to make a Buffalo stack here. Dawson Knox, James Cook, and Devin Singletary. Kind of a dearth of wide receivers at this part in the draft. But we'll see who's around when I get there. Eight more picks, and I'm hoping for Robert Woods or George Pickens. Actually, I'm not really hoping for George Pickens because he's a week 9 bye. We said we don't want the week 9 bye at this point. I mean, if I don't get Woods or Pickens, I mean, maybe Burks. A lot of people are down on him, including me recently, but if there's someone who has upside to take over that Tennessee passing game, it is Treylon Burks. Julio Jones, throw him in the mix. George Pickens gone. Five picks away. Three picks away now. Woods, Burks, and Jones are left of that group. And we are back. Okay. I'm going to take a shot at Julio. Why not? If he can stay healthy, he can get sick. And I guess the fact of the matter is that not a lot of people are going to be on Julio Jones right now. He's left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. So I don't mind throwing him in there. I mean, the rest of my receivers are pretty stacked. And like I said, I was going to, take the road a little less traveled in this draft. It's because I really haven't, just gone completely off the reservation for one of these best ball drafts yet. So maybe we do that now. Maybe we just go wild with our upcoming picks. So I do need to add a tight end. Just looking at tight ends who are coming up who'll be available. I mean, Pat Freiermuth is kind of the one that sticks out to me, but he does have a week 9 bye. And like I said, we're avoiding week 9 and 7 buys. I do like Cole Kmet, and just the fact that there really aren't that many other pass catchers in that Bears offense worth their salt outside of Darnell Mooney. So I don't mind queuing up Cole Kmet. I'll queue up Pat Freiermuth. I mean, I guess if I had to take him, I would, and then I just find another tight end who could potentially pop week 9. So we'll see what happens these next 2 picks. The next 1 pick I have. All right. So we can take Cole Kmet, Pat Freiermuth. I'm just going to go ahead and take Komet to avoid the week 9 bye week nightmare. And so right now the team is Dak Prescott at quarterback, Ezekiel Elliott, Cam Akers, Damian Pierce, Rashad Penny at running back, wide receiver Stephen Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, Gabe Davis, and Julio Jones, tight end Cole Kmet. It's pretty stout, if you ask me. So there we have it. Kirk Cousins just went. Michael Gallup following him. 8 picks away. I don't know. Maybe if Pat Frymuth is still there, I'd take him as my second tight end. I like that. I really don't know that after him, there are really any other tight ends with his kind of upside. I mean, I do like Isaiah Likely at the back end, at the tail end of the draft. But outside of him, there's nobody I'm terribly excited about or excited about at all at tight end, really. Albert O, okay. That's a possibility too, especially since Greg Dulcich is, you know, probably going to miss some time. He's also has a week 9 bye. We got 6 picks in this and the next one. I should probably look at some receivers too here. Romeo Dubs, there's been a lot of gassing up of Dubs over the past few weeks. The thing is, this Green Bay offense, we really just don't know who the regular players are going to be, who the regular fantasy contributors are going to be. They're going to spread it out quite a bit. Oh, well, there Dubs went anyway. And so I think maybe lay off receivers for a while. Just because, I mean, the guys who are up here are either, Isaiah McKenzie's up here, but I already have 2 Buffalo receivers. Russell Gage is here. I already have Julio Jones. So I may just go ahead and take another tight end here. Although I don't know if I need to yet. Maybe I'll take another running back. I think that stands a better chance of panning out. Michael Carter actually kind of like. Oh, do I have enough time? What's happening? Oh, it stuck me with Likely. He was the next guy I had queued up. I mean, out of turn for sure, but I still like him. I don't mind having him as my second tight end. I feel like he's been pretty stellar this preseason. One of the few pass catching assets for the Ravens that has done anything of note this preseason. I mean, there was a point in time this preseason where he hadn't missed a target, I think, in 2 preseason games. So looking at who is available, I mean, like I said, Mackenzie Tolbert. I mean, like I have wide receivers from both of those teams already. And the next, Devontae Parker. I don't know that I want a part of that New England offense's receiving game. DJ Chark, likewise, Detroit. I don't want a part of that passing game. Um, and so I'm going to look at other positions right now. Um, I'm going to go out on a limb for Isaiah Pacheco here. I said I was going to get kind of wild in this draft, and it's kind of turning out that way. Definitely taking some chances on Isaiah Likely and Isaiah Pacheco on the two Isaiahs. But if it works out, that could be the kind of trashy ad that makes a difference in one of these large field best ball tourneys. So 11 picks for our next. I'm just going to queue up some guys that I like. I mean, Alexander Madison, if he sticks around, would be an interesting pick. I mean, just because I haven't drafted him in one of these yet. If something were to happen to Dalvin Cook, he, of course, would be a bell cow there in Minnesota. Khalil Herbert, I like in Chicago just because I don't like the passing game. KJ Hamler could end up paying dividends. I mean, you're drafting him as late as I mean, as late as you can get him in drafts, could end up paying dividends. Matt Ryan's a quarterback who I can look at late to potentially making another stack with. I mean, Brian Robinson, I mean, people are going to be staying off of him in drafts for the time being to wait and see what happens with him, after he was shot in a robbery attempt. But, he's somebody who, if you wanted to add just to shake up things in one of these large field tournaments, could end up paying off for you. Isaiah Spiller, I love, but I mean, the Chargers just added Sony Michel, who is somebody we can also look at late in this draft. Mike Gesicki, I'm wanting to stay away from right now, saying his role has changed in Miami. There are actually rumors that the team was trying to trade him recently. So that confluence of events just isn't something I'm really want to risk at all on. Kenny Galladay said kind of terrible reviews in this preseason, but I mean, like he's one of their few healthy receivers who's a field stretcher and is a big guy. Okay, so my pick here. It's hard not to take Jalen Tolbert. I mean, but I already have a Dallas receiver. I think I might just go with Khalil Herbert here. Let it auto draft from my queue. So, team this far: Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, Cam Akers, Damian Pierce, Rashad Penny, Isaiah Pacheco, Khalil Herbert. Receivers: Stefan Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, Gabe Davis, Julio Jones. Tight ends: Cole Kmet and Isaiah Likely. Probably look to take another receiver with this next pick. KJ Hamler, Kenny Galladay. I mean, I don't love what Kenny Galladay's been doing, but he's one of the few receivers late here in the draft and this part of the draft that could actually end up, playing above their ADP, their current ADP in fantasy this season. Corey Davis and Paris Campbell I'm also interested in. Mike Davis. I mean, he could end up being the starter for the first couple games for the Ravens. About time here to maybe I start looking at other quarterbacks. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and rock with Paris Campbell. Why? Because I like him, and I'm just trying to deviate from the norm in this draft, like I said I would. Could have been the number two. Looks like he's the number two in Indianapolis going into the season. And when he was coming out of when he was coming into the league, he was arguably my favorite receiving prospect that year. At least I think I mean, he was in my top three for sure. And he's just never been healthy up until this point. Okay, other quarterbacks who I might look at here. Baker Mayfield, I think just because he's got so many good weapons there in Carolina, it's hard to ignore him there. Also, Ryan Tannehill's a solid pick. Those guys, along, I mean, Deshaun Watson, if he falls to me, or if there isn't really anybody else worth taking, or I'm interested in taking around him, I might go with him too. But outside of that, I'm not really looking at any of these other quarterbacks. So 8 picks away. Looking at team needs. I mean, let me see where I am. I have 4 picks left in this draft. Don't really need to run another running back. Could do with another receiver. I need a quarterback, a receiver, and maybe another tight end in this draft. So I got some quarterbacks queued up, have a receiver queued up, have a running back queued up. I don't really need a running back queued up, but he's there on the same. Receivers. I mean, AJ Green, he'll be useful for the first 6 weeks at least. Laviska Shenault. That could be interesting. Maybe I get Baker Mayfield, add Laviska Shenault, create kind of a little Carolina stack there. Yeah, that actually doesn't seem like a bad idea. And I just think it's, a stack that not many people are going to be on. Tight ends I'm looking at. I mean, Taysom Hill's always interesting in best ball. Tyler Conklin, I like. Okay. So I think I'm going to go with Baker Mayfield here. Three picks left. See any other tight ends that I might be interested in? I mean, I guess I could throw Tommy Tremble in there to make that to complete Carolina stack with LaVisca, Mayfield. Well, let me see if Robbie Anderson is still around. He is. I can make a Robbie Anderson, Baker Mayfield, LaVisca Chenault stack to round this thing out. So unorthodox, but unorthodox is kind of what we need to deviate from the norm in these large field tournaments. I could take maybe a Chuba Hubbard too. In lieu of one of those guys to make that stack. Okay, but I think I have enough guys queued up to make heads or tails of this. Jalen Warren, somebody I'm interested in just because it looks like the backup to Najee Harris in Pittsburgh. Like I said, Sony Michel as well. Okay. So Robbie Anderson, I think, will be my next pick. Just to go along with Baker Mayfield. So team as it stands, Dak Prescott, Baker Mayfield quarterbacks, running back to Ezekiel Elliott, Cam Akers, Damian Pierce, Rashad Penny, Isaiah Pacheco, Khalil Herbert. Receivers, Stefon Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, Gabe Davis, Julio Jones, Paris Campbell, Robbie Anderson, Titans Cole Kmet, and Isaiah Likely. Yeah, this is arguably the most unorthodox team I've had in one of these best ball tournaments, but that's what I was going for this time around. So just looking at who's left, if we want to make that complete that Carolina stack, we can add LaVisca Chenault, Tommy Tremble, or Chuba Hubbard. So what I might do here is add one of these running backs who could end up taking over, like Jalen Warren or Sony Michel in case of an injury. Sony Michel, I think, is going to get touches anyways in this Chargers offense. I mean, he led the Rams in rushing last season. I feel like I do need to take a tight end with one of these next two picks. So we'll see who falls. Taysom Hill, the upside being that, he could potentially get snaps at quarterback. Tyler Conklin's been getting a lot of targets in New York with Joe Flacco and with Zach Wilson, really. Tommy Tremble, haven't heard much from him, but, he's just part of that potential stack. Okay. So I think I'm going to go with Taysom Hill here. Then I have one more pick left, and I think it's going to be one of these Carolina players. I just have to decide who. LaVisca Chenault, Tommy Tremble, or Chuba Hubbard. Kind of want to go Chuba just in case something happens with Christian McCaffrey. He's the guy there. Tommy Tremble, I'm ambivalent about him completely. I'm going to throw him out. So it's Laviska Chenault or Chuba Hubbard. I don't know. Maybe somebody picks one of these guys before I get a chance to. But if not, maybe I go with Chenault just because, I mean, that just seems like the pick that not many people are going to make. Could end up being the third receiver there for Carolina. And I think that's kind of where the upside is. Yeah, I think that's what we do. So unless somebody takes him with one of these next two picks, I'm going to go with Laviska Chenault for my last pick. So I'll have kind of a Carolina stack with Baker Mayfield, Robbie Anderson, and Laviska Chenault. And that'll round out, kind of strange team, but one that I don't hate. It's strange, but I think in these large hill tournaments, your team has to be a little bit strange. So it looks like the team will be Dak Prescott, Baker Mayfield, Ezekiel Elliott, Cam Akers, Damian Pierce, Rashad Penny, Isaiah Pacheco, Khalil Herbert, Stephen Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, Gabe Davis, Julio Jones, Paris Campbell, Robbie Anderson, and Laviska Chenault, and then Cole Kmet, Isaiah Likely, Taysom Hill. Yeah, it's like I said, it's an unorthodox team, but I think it's one that could pay off in one of these best ball tourneys. And they kind of have to be unorthodox in order to hit, hundreds of thousands of people playing. Anyway, so there we have it. Another successful draft using the roster watch best ball cheat sheet. This has been the Trashman, a half of rosterwatch.com. Until next time, be ready.